just baffles me how racist Sydney Sweeney is. Like, in a recent interview, the interviewer literally gave her a chance to, like, correct the whole ad situation and be like, oh my god, like, I didn't mean for it to be about yada yada. She was literally like, but I have an issue that I want to speak about. People will hear. What the fuck does that mean? And then the interviewer was like, hey, like, what were your opinions on, like, Donald Trump, like, you know, talking about yada yada? She was like, it was surreal. And I'm like, this girl is fully aware and just does not care. She literally does not care. She's telling us who she is. I will not be watching Euphoria 2026.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Stranad and here is Belinda Morris. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload video, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, let's dive in today's videos and we're just going to come back to talk about it.
Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself? The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have...
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself? Yeah. Okay, and the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority, like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
That is a hallmark of having more control of the project.
I think so. I think that as time goes on, people will see that I'm way more aware of things than people think.
Can you say a little bit more?
I mean, if I say it, then I like to let the art speak for itself.
And all Sydney Sweeney had to do was say that racism is bad. That's it. Disavow white supremacy. That is literally all she had to do to avoid all of this. Let me tell y'all something about the black experience. Seeing the world through black eyes, being black, growing up black, the absolute lengths that people will go to just to barely skirt around saying that racism is bad. I'm telling you, when it comes to certain people, they will do anything and everything but say that the Triple K clan is bad. And the real reason that they are so hesitant to outright come out and say that racism is bad or anything of the like similarly is because they got racist family members. They got close friends with Yahtzee tattoos. And moreover than all of that as well, deep inside they have those same racist ideals. And that's why when you confront one of these people about racism and simply ask them to acknowledge whether or not it is good or bad, hint, it's bad. Their eyes start darting all across the room. They get hesitant. They start stuttering. Racism is at the core of a lot of these people's identity. So they get awkward when it's time to disavow it because then they'd have to look at themselves and be like, damn, I'm not a good person. Damn, these ideals that I hold and that my friends and family hold are not good. And they can't do it. They can't. Gotta say though, the universe has a funny way of getting back at people for that level of cowardice though. Sydney Sweeney has had quite a terrible week. And I cannot say I feel bad.
We need to believe women.
White people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
We should have believed her the first time. I'm sorry, if she did not look the way she did, we would not be giving her this many chances.
That journalist handed her an out on a silver platter. She could express anything she wanted.
Anything.
She decided to say nothing. In saying nothing, she essentially said all that we needed to hear. That's it. Boom. Done.
We just need to start believing people when they tell us who they are the first time. For us to expect anything different, who we can hold accountable are the brands that hire her to represent them. Do I want to support brands that want this to be their spokesperson? Maybe not. Also just know that if the current president were to say anything about us, our response would be, he needs to shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of my face. I don't think it would be surreal. I think it would be surreally upsetting.
Miss Sweeney, you do you, boo.
I'll just learn to ignore you from now on.
So Sydney Sweeney's movie Christie ended up flopping, and that's not really surprising to me because she built up a fan base of right-wing incel losers, and I don't know why she thought that picking up a movie about a lesbian boxer that is going through domestic violence with a man would work out and be successful with her fan base. Because like if you're if you're going after the male gaze and you're not in like OF or any kind of like adult content, you're setting yourself up for failure, especially if you're like a movie actress. Because that just makes no sense to me, bro. Anything that is adjacent to being woke is not gonna appease your fan base. And it's really unfortunate for her career because she was on an upward trajectory, bro. But she's had like, what, 3 flops back to back to back? And also, I don't know if Madam Web was a flop, but that's actually one of the worst movies ever made. However, it's hilarious, but not on purpose. God, Madam Web is actual delicious garbage, like just some good filth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. I'm just not really surprised with this shit, bro, because it's like, one, her fans are not going to support a project like this, and two, I really didn't see that much promotion for it. Like, I just recently went to a movie like a few weeks ago, and I saw that trailer, and it really didn't look interesting. And then when I seen it was Sydney Sweeney in it, I was like, I don't know about this, bro. So, yeah, man, she just cannot stop taking L's.
At the end of the day, guys, choosing not to say something in the current political climate says everything. If I was Sydney Sweeney and the entire internet thought that I championed eugenics, that I believed that I was a white supremacist, that I was a racist person, and an interviewer asked me point blank, like, hey, people think that you're a eugenicist. They think that you believe that white people are superior. You sit there and you go, I did a gene ad. I like genes. When I have something to say, you'll know. It's very weird to me as a political scientist to not refute this, to not immediately say, of course I don't believe in eugenics. Of course I don't believe in white supremacy. Of course, you know, obviously there are these connotations, but like, that was not my intention putting this out. I don't know why that's so hard to say, which is why it's incredibly weird that she didn't say that. There's also the issue of the GQ interviewer who just simply did not do her job. The whole exchange was very giggly and very soft. Like, I get that it's uncomfortable asking someone, do you think you're a eugenicist? But I feel like you could have framed it as like, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to clear this up now. And then it becomes a lot harder for Sydney Sweeney to like skirt around the issue. The interviewer choosing not to do that also says everything.
So what I've gathered from this GQ interview with Sydney Sweeney is that she's the type of white woman that does not see how white supremacy affects her negatively. She can't see how it benefits her. And especially in this climate, Trump is in office, MAGA, racism, everything is at an all-time high. So if you're racist, you're going to receive support for it. Like, racism is being pushed hard. That's why she is able to sit there and feel like she's on the right side right now in this moment. She's not thinking about the future. She's not thinking about how this is going to affect her, because this train is going to come to a screeching halt. And when we go back to regular racism, she's gonna realize, oh, maybe I should have changed my answer. Yes, when I put out that ad, that was not my intention, but I see the harm that it caused. I am sorry. That is not who I am. But instead, she sits there like smug, like, if I wanted to talk about it, I would talk about it. Girl. And again, white supremacy affects white women in ways a lot of y'all don't want to look underneath the hood to see. When they overturned Roe v. versus Wade, did you think that was just for fun and giggles? Nah, that was to get white women to push out more white babies. They're controlling your vaginas. And of course, black people, Asian women, we just all, like, women of color, we all just fall underneath that umbrella by default. White supremacy has used white women in the worst way possible in order for it to thrive. White supremacy really only benefits the white man, and sometimes not even all white men. It's the ultra-rich white men that it doesn't affect, that have good effects from it. So when this train comes to a screeching halt, it's gonna turn around and it's gonna bite Sydney Sweeney in the ass. I would not even be surprised if, you know, the group she runs around, like the MAGA, like her family, I hear like her family's involved with MAGA, turns around and turns on her. Okay? Right now, she's just a prop that is being used to propel and continue this MAGA and racism and all of that stuff. And I'm like, girl, that's stupid. At the end of the day, you should put your career first, because when it comes time to throw you under the bus and you're no longer useful, oh baby, goodbye, because you don't have the people support like that. Not even white women. White women are not even like fucking with this. So good luck.
The downfall of Sydney Sweeney is actually quite amazing to watch because The Housemaid by Frida McFadden is a very well-known book. So many thriller girlies got into reading after reading that book. That was one of my first reads that got me into reading Frida. And honestly, the movie comes out in December 2025, I believe on Christmas Day, and I'm still planning to watch. But when I was looking on the page at the trailer, so many people in the caption were like, oh my gosh, I love this book, but I'm not going to see it because I can't stand Sydney Sweeney. And it's astounding because she had such a rising action to fame and stardom, you know what I mean? Like, she was a Euphoria star, and she had the potential to come out and not be a Cassie, you know? And then she just had so much controversy surrounding her, you know, with the Trump family and the Jean ad and the bathwater and just everything like that. And she had the potential to, you know, be a very likable person, and she just didn't do that. And, you know, I totally understand the, like, standard for women is so exceptionally high, and it's almost impossible to ever, like, garner true support. But I think if there's any way to fail aggressively, it's by doing what she did, which is basically nothing. You know, like, everyone hates a neutral ass bitch. Like, she either needs to lean into that right conservative niche, or she needs to lean into that, like, liberal niche, you know? Because she could be like, yeah, like, I'm a hot bitch who's a conservative, you know? Like, titties out for Trump. Or she could be like, no, I'm super liberal. I like playing these roles because I think they're satirical. And honestly, like, the Jean campaign didn't come across as intended. You know, like, when that interviewer gave her the potential to say something, she genuinely gave nothing. And not in a way where it was, like, demure and cutesy, but in a way where it was nothing. And she has so many films. Like, she's been in a romance film, she's been in a biopic, now she's gonna be in a thriller, she's been in a teen coming of age. And so it's just insane because her rise to fame and stardom is so high, but she's such an unlikable actress that it's just almost like uncharacteristically like there, you know, because Zendaya kind of got her start in a similar way, but we're seeing how likable she is, and she kind of has like almost a parallel version of her, you know? And it's almost like people are guilty by association with Sydney Sweeney now, because there's like the Hunter Schafer effect where people are like, ooh, Hunter, you're a trans woman and you're hanging out with Sydney Sweeney, not a good look. And then there's the Zendaya effect where they're like, ooh, she's taking distance, see, this is like why we like our girl. And it's like Sydney Sweeney didn't even do something necessarily tangible, but the fact that she's doing nothing is something in and of itself. So I'm just fascinated to see how it all unfolds, because truly, like, there's nothing really to grasp, but there's enough for people to dislike, and that's not a good place to be.
So I've come to the conclusion that Sydney Sweeney might be a little racist. Maybe. I made a post about that, and I have both racists mad at me and also the virtue signaling leftists mad at me. Here's the thing, okay? For one, the ad itself, the jeans ad, I did not think it was racist. And I honestly still don't, okay? However, you know, I had heard those things about Sydney Sweeney, and I'm like, okay, I'm not one to just jump. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people who take pride and, like, joy in being like, they're racist, haha! There are certain people where I feel like they actively want someone to be racist so that they can call them racist. So it's like they look like more of a good person for calling them racist. I'm not one of those people, okay? It's like, I'll wait until I actually feel like that's how I feel in my heart of hearts. Like, I bet money on it. Sydney Sweeney did that interview, right? And some, like, girl asked her, she's like, yo, like, they're saying, like, white people shouldn't joke about, like, genetic superiority in this context, whatever. And she said something like, oh, when I have something I want to speak on, you'll hear it. And here's why that makes me believe that she's racist, okay? I feel like there could be a very simple response of, like, oh, there was nothing about genetic superiority in that ad. Oh, the ad had nothing to do with supremacy. Oh, people took that ad in a way that it wasn't meant to be taken, and the internet runs wild. Even if, because the thing is, I have, like, a bunch of racists, like, coming to me being like, oh, you want her, like, on her knees, like, crawling for BLM? And I'm like, that's not even what I'm saying. Like, she literally could have said, oh my gosh, like, a bunch of idiots online took it out of context, Especially, I feel like, given the context of the fact that now there are actual racists, like, and let's just say in the instance where she wasn't racist, like, actual racists that are now using that as like, yeah, she's one of us. Like, you think you would want to say something to make it clear that you separate yourself from those people even though they're supporting you? I mean, just something on the record. It doesn't have to be a back and forth. This could be the last time you talk about it, but just something on the record. Again, my thing is, I'm like, it doesn't even have to be complicated. It can literally just be like, oh yeah, people took that out of context. It, of course, didn't mean anything racial. I feel like that's very easy to say, because the thing is, mind you, American Eagle, like, the people who made the ad, they literally did. Basically, my point is, I'm like, it would be very simple, especially given, like, sure, she might not be tapped into the internet, but, like, there has to be a publicist, there has to be a PR person, making sure she knows what's going on. And if you're not separating yourself from these people when given the opportunity, like, Mind you, everyone on both sides have always hated my take on this issue. I'm prepared for that. I'm witnessing it happen right now. I think it's quite funny. But I just think this is a very nuanced situation that people, of course, can't handle. Okay, think about it this way. I have something to add. Because people do that to me all the time, like with incels. They're like, oh, well, all these incels agree with you, da 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 da. You know what I say when I see that? Oh, well, I don't agree with them. Whoever follows me or my content, that's not my responsibility. You know what I mean? It's like, even if I'm not groveling on my knees for this person, like I'm putting on the record that like I don't agree with the views that I don't agree with. You know, and that's just something I do on the internet. Like someone will do that in the comment section. I'll just say, well, yep, I don't agree with them. So it's like the concept of getting on like an interview in front of these, it's just my thing. I'm like, even if you were just slightly not racist, even like I feel like no matter how annoyed you are with the situation, you would very much want to clear up that you're not racist. You know what I'm saying?
Let's dive straight in. Recently, Sydney Sweeney sat down with GQ and the interview has ignited a firestorm of conversation. It centered on a few major themes: her advertising campaign with American Eagle, Sydney Sweeney has great genes, the public reaction to it, including claims of racial undertones, her own career trajectory, actor plus producer, and how she navigates fame, public image, and controversy. According to the article, the campaign threw her, and more broadly Nollywood culture, into a broader debate about identity, branding, and messaging. So the question becomes, what does this episode reveal about celebrity culture, branding, gender, image, and the shifting interplay between private self and public personnel? That is what we will examine. First, the ad. American Eagle launched a campaign featuring Sweeney with the slogan, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. On its face, a pun, genes. But given Sweeney's physical attributes, white woman, blonde hair, etc., and the historic contents around genes and eulogies discussions, it quickly became loaded, according to GQ's piece, which means it's been about 8 weeks minus 1 hour since it became clear. The studio kid's summation was going to be a thing that Americans shouted past each other about for at least a couple of months. The reaction on social media exploded. Some argued that the ad had adjacency undertones because it equated great genes to attractiveness embodied by a white model. Others thought it harmless or lowbrow. The GQ interview report that American Eagle stock jumped significantly after the campaign. Sweeney says she was surprised by the reaction. From a branding perspective, this is interesting. A campaign intended to sell Demi becomes a cultural flashpoint. It raises questions. Was the controversy accidental or engineered? Did the brand seek viral attention? Sweeney said, I did a jean ad, I love jeans, all I wear are jeans and a t-shirt every day of my life. In the interview, Sweeney detailed her transformation for her upcoming film, Christine. She plays boxer Christine Martin. She talked about her background in martial arts, kicking box, grappling as early as age 12 to 13, which gives her more tools for the role. Importantly, she addressed the ad controversy. When asked, were you surprised by the reaction? She responded simply, I did a jean ad. The reaction definitely was a surprise. She maintained that she works very long days, doesn't always check her phone, so a lot of the noise didn't register for her. She also said, I think that's when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear. So she is signaling I will comment when I feel it matters. Not every controversy deserves my voice. From a career and image viewpoint, Sweeney is playing a larger game, actor and producer. She's taking control of her narrative, choosing projects like Christine that allow her to transform show strengths, not just sex appeal. She says her body is a powerful tool to tell stories. Here comes where I offer some personal takeaways. 1. Branding in 2025 is tricky. What used to be cool jeans ad is now deep social contents. Brands can't just slap upon an attractive face. Every message is filtered through cultural lenses. The James Bond might have been in solace to the creators, but once it hits YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, there is no escape from interpretation. The brand may gain views, as AE's stock jump suggests, but there is also risk. Sweeney's case shows how a celebrity rides that wave whether she intends it or not. 2. Celebrities as lightning rod for culture war topics. Sweeney becomes less just an actor and more a symbol. The media asks, what do you think about these race implications, this body image issue, this brand message, even though she says, I'm just doing my job. But the conversation forces her into a public role she may not have sought. That is the tension of a model celebrity. 3. The value and the burden of becoming a brand. When someone becomes a face of multiple things, films, ads, image, social media, they accrue both agency and the exposure. Sweeney's choice to use her body as a tool is interesting rather than hiding who she is. She leans into it, but agency doesn't eliminate vulnerability. Someone will interpret it in a way you didn't plan. She acknowledges that if someone is closed off because of something they read online to a powerful story like Christine, then I hope something else can open their eyes. Privacy versus public expectation. Number 4. There is also the matter of Sweeney's relative silence. She mentioned that she doesn't bring her phone on set. She keeps it off the noise. For someone in her position, that is smart, helps maintain focus, but it also raises questions. In 2025, are celebrities expected to comment on every controversy? Should they? Sweeney's stance seems to be no, only when I feel I need to, I will. That may annoy some critics, but is a valid posture. 5. Gender, body image, and authenticity. Sweeney speaks candidly about how she views her body. A very beautiful, powerful tool. How she transforms for roles, how she doesn't want to be pigeonholed as just a sex symbol. This is reflection in one sense, but also problematic in another. She's still operating in an image-driven industry where her looks and body are front and centered. She tries to turn that into an asset rather than a liability. That is a balancing act. For Sweeney, she has major upcoming projects like Christine, which may help shift her image. If she believes strongly as actor-producer, the jeans ad controversy may reside in the background, but she will still be watched. For brands, this is a case study. If you run a campaign, get ready for a cultural interpretation. Brands may seek viral via controversy, but that comes at cost. Also, the talent matters. When the face is an actor with fan base and media scrutiny, the stakes are higher. For the public consumers, it's a media moment about interpretation. Some will see the ad and say harmless fun. Others will see dog whistle potential. Both readings will exist. The question: how much responsibility does the brand celebrity bear for the interpretation, and how much responsibility do viewers have for nuisance? For celebrity culture, the expectation that public figures speak on everything is unsustainable. Sweeney's refusal to comment on every angle is a kind of resistance, but will audiences accept that? That remains to be seen. To wrap up, this entire episode of Sweeney plus GQ plus American Ego is much more than a jeans ad. It's a lens into how culture, branding, identity, and celebrity intersect in 2025. Sweeney's reaction, surprise focus on work, choosing when to speak, shows one way to navigate that collision, whether you agree with her interpretation or find fault with the brand. One thing is clear: nothing is just a porn anymore. And for you, the viewer, consumer of content, what I did leave you with is, when you see a campaign, a celebrity quote, a controversy, ask what is beneath the surface, who profits, who is interpreted, what are the multiple ways people may respond. Then ask how much of the interpretation is fair, how much is projection. That is the lens I bring to this story.
So, lovies, if you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Please leave your own thought in the comment section of what you think, and I will see you, lovies, when I upload the next one.